really like this chapter on the need to control because it helps me to look at my own places to grow and to stretch, and I imagine that, or I hope that it will do the same thing for you. We've all met people that are very controlling, people who have to have things their way, only their way, and will not deviate from that. We've met people who control out of fear that if they don't control, if they ever were to relinquish control, let somebody else step in, take on somebody else's idea, that maybe the end result wouldn't be as good, or maybe it wouldn't get done at all. Fear is at the basis of a lot of the need to control. And sometimes people who are very, very controlling are controlling because they think that somehow if they could just control all of the things around them, then they would be safe. But of course, it doesn't work like that because there's so much around us that we cannot control. There's so much that happens around us that we cannot control. In fact, I really like the opening of this chapter, the way Edward Hare paints this picture of control versus surrender and letting go. The book is a short little novel. It's really not a how-to book in the truest sense of the word, and yet when you read it, you find out there's a lot of good, helpful information in it, in between the lines. So I want to do a little reading from the book today, this morning. So he writes, you know, the stock market's going to the tank, Tyler. Right in the tank, along with all of my investments. My security, my entire financial future is at risk. Are you making coffee? He said. I thought I smelled coffee. Yes, Tyler, I'm making coffee. Jesus, you're so impatient sometimes. I know, it's a bad character defect of mine. You know what I say sometimes when I actually recite the serenity prayer? I recite and I say, God, grant me the serenity to accept my character defects. Maybe that's a cop-out, huh? Perhaps an excuse for being so insensitive, unwilling to try to improve. I mean, here I am talking to you. I'm telling you that my future is spiraling down the toilet along with the rest of the stock market, and you're worried about the blankety-blank coffee. Yeah. Anything wrong with that? Yes, there's something wrong with that. What's wrong with that? Well, I told you, weren't you listening? My financial future in the stock market is in extreme jeopardy. Don't you understand what that means? It's going in the tank big time, and all you can say is, where's the coffee? Ah, but you see, we can do something about the coffee. It's one of the few things we can control. When and how we make the coffee. We can do that, Tyler. We can't do anything about the stock market but worry. When I read that, I just smiled because I thought, that's it in a very simple nutshell. It's it in a very simple nutshell. I can't control the stock market. I can't control rush hour traffic. I can't control what the people do around me. I can try. I can play that game for quite a while and be bruised as a result in direct proportion to how much I try to control it. But the truth is, it's outside of my control. There's so much that's outside of my control. But the one huge thing that is never outside of my control is what I tell myself about what's going on around me, how I interpret what's going on around me, how I choose to respond to what's going on around me. That is something I can completely control. I can completely master that.